Hello and welcome to the Learned It, Living It podcast here with Darlington College. Today is all about net zero with the Tees Valley Net Zero Scholarship. It's a landmark £1 million training initiative that aims to power the region's transition into the industry of the future. The scholarship will train 141 individuals in roles that are in high demand, such as welding, instrumentation, pipe fitting, electrical engineering, and civil operations. The programme is from the Tees Valley Regional Skills Consortium and is financially supported by Net Zero Teesside Power and the Northern Endurance Partnership. Today, I'm joined by three guests who I'm delighted to introduce you to the podcast, and I'm looking forward to finding out a little bit more about them. So, starting with yourself, could you tell me who you are and what are you doing with Darlington College?
I'm Eva, and I'm doing the Level 3 Net Zero Engineering Scholarship.
Fantastic. And what's your name?
I'm Jack.
Jack, are you on the same course? Yes. And what's your name?
Yeah, I'm Tristan. I'm on the same course.
Okay. When did you start the course? That's my first question.
This September.
This September. So time of recording is November, early November, just to date it. So you're a fair bit into the course now, I imagine.
Yeah, around 2 months.
How's it been so far? Has it been good?
It's been good, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a question. Fitting.
Fitting.
What a fitter? Sorry, not fitting, fitter.
Yeah.
What is a fitter? Could you start by Tristan?
Yeah, so basically what we've learned about fitting so far is taking stuff off motors, putting it back together. We've learned about machines, taking bolts off, changing oil. We've learned about oxygen and acetylene, which isn't fitting. However, we will be using it in the future. So we learned about that as well. It's really dangerous. Flames can get up to thousands of degrees Fahrenheit, and we've been learning about how I actually do that. It's been good.
Wow. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
I've got so many questions already. This is brilliant. Yeah. This is great. Okay, so fitting. Okay, so fitting. What? Obviously, you've touched on a couple of things there, Jack. What else does it entail?
Well, we've done bits like obviously stripping the motors down. It's looking at each component and how you can replace it.
Yeah. Even
on all sorts of machinery and how you would go about doing it.
Okay. So my question is, you're on a scholarship, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's the Net Zero Scholarship. Eva, how did you find out about that? What was the process and get involved? What made you choose it in the first place?
I was going to do Level 2 Engineering, just the original course. But then John McCallum had told me when I went to go see what everything's like, look around the workshops, and he said that it was an option and that I should sign up for it. Obviously, I didn't think I was going to get it. But then I didn't end up passing my English, so I didn't think I was going to get it anyway. But he found me on the day of enrolment when I was just going to do the original course, and he said that there's one spot left and that I can take it.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. So what drew you to fitting?
Well, I've always been interested in it, and it's less theory. There's less writing components than there is practical, which is much better. I'm not very good at theory.
Right, okay. I mean, already hearing about some of the science behind it, there's obviously quite a bit that you need to understand and do. And obviously this is very much tied to net zero. So what was the draw for you, Jack, to sort of go down this route as opposed to other courses?
Well, as much as we're never going to reach true carbon zero, it's definitely good to try and do the best we can to protect the Earth for future generations. It's quite a key thing to me, and has been through several parts of my family. So continue on with it. When the opportunity came up, absolutely jump on it.
Yeah, you can almost contribute to it positively through work, I imagine. Tristan, what about yourself? Why the Net Zero Scholarship? What was the motivation for it?
So previously, I went to a engineering school kind of college. It was called UTC South Durham. They did engineering, design and manufacturing, and I got good grades in design and manufacturing. So I went to college and I seen the engineering, and somebody was sat down and they pushed me over saying that I should do it, and they were encouraging me to go for this course instead of the electrical installation that I was originally thinking about. But I thought, now I've got these grades, I'll go for it, and I got one of the last spots on the course, so I was pretty chuffed for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So a real mixed bag, obviously coming through. You've come from another background. Is this your first course out of educate out of school, basically, yeah? So first course out of school. And then what about yourself? Have you come straight from school into the course as well? Yeah. All right, so real breadth of experience. But that's really good because you can learn from each other, right?
Yeah.
Why net zero for you then? Because obviously that, you know, you were going down one route and then you've gone and obviously got the space on the course. But why net zero?
Well, net zero was one of the first ones that I seen for Darlington College when it was advertised on the boards in college. I saw net zero and I thought it looked really, really cool. And then I read into it and I thought, yeah, I should be doing this. I should go for it, you know. So that was one of the reasons why I actually went for it. I didn't have any previous information about it, so as soon as I saw it in college, I thought I'd give it a go at enrolling.
Yeah, and give it a go. Absolutely. Okay, so you've got family members that are interested in net zero. What sort of stuff have they been looking at themselves?
Well, prior to like my great grandma passing away, she was very much into like painting and things, and she used to enjoy painting the environment. And it was very much a thing of, through doing that, any money that she'd sell work for or things would actually get donated to different charities. Some of it did go to, I believe, one of the bigger ones up here, and then some of it went to like animal centres and things. So like Dogs Trust got a little bit out of one painting and a few other bits like that. And then sort of following through, like my mum has looked at it previously as something she'd look at, but unfortunately previously it hasn't been there to step into, whereas now obviously it is coming around. So
yeah, it's an evolving industry, obviously. And I mean, 10 years ago, term net zero wasn't being used that much at all.
No, it wasn't really a thing.
Exactly, and now it is. So, like, you know, what's the driver for you with net zero? You know, what made you keen to give it a go?
Well, I learned about net zero in my GCSE DT lessons, and I was more interested in that than the actual DT side of it.
Okay.
So when we were learning about it, I'd always be more like interested in learning about that instead of other things. But when I seen like the option to do it, I knew that I'd want to do that and learn about it after researching what it was actually about and what Balfour BT is doing and Teesside and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So we mentioned Balfour BT there. Are you with Balfour BT as part of the so how does that work? Take me through that then.
We've had our PPE paid for, our overalls, our coveralls, our dust boots, and we've had our toolkits paid for as well.
All right. Okay.
So,
Brilliant. Yeah.
So they've acquired them for us, and then we've got the branded stuff on the front. And that's
is the idea that you'll then go work with them or do a placement?
Yeah. So we've got a chance. I don't know what the chance is, but there's a chance that most of us will go on to work with them for an apprenticeship or in a job or.
So there's opportunity potentially there that you can look at down the line.
It's
not 100% guaranteed though. But.
Yeah.
It's the idea of once they've finished building Tees works, like Teesside, the carbon capture and everything, that we will then go on to work there once it's done and built.
Okay.
So they're like preparing for it in advance so that they know they're going to have enough workers to beyond that.
Yeah.
Place.
Yeah, I think part of the key thing that I read in the information that was sent over in the sort of the press release about the courses was about equipping the workforce for the future, the future workforce, and there's obviously a huge amount going on there. So with fitting, and I'll come to you here, Jack, with fitting, you've obviously talked about taking engines apart and everything else. Where's the net zero bit in terms of what are we looking at? To someone that won't know anything about the course, what are you sort of saying how it fits and works?
So as of right now, it's looking at getting the skills and developing them. So once we do go out, you can adjust it onto all these other bits of equipment. Like they've already discussed some of the bits that have gone out there. Sort of with when we got our PPE given to us, they sort of came in, presented part of the site and what the plans are for it. It's like they've got massive generators and things on site. They've got cooling towers and things. It's all the engineering behind that, but it all sort of comes down to your basic like skills that you just improve and focus more on certain aspects.
Yeah, I suppose they can't. The industry is going to see a transition over a period of a number of years. So obviously, you need to know how things work currently and previously, so you can work on those and keep those running, and then how you can develop the next technologies and how you can work with those. So, Eva, what's your experience been like so far?
I've absolutely loved it, to be honest. It's been like obviously I'm not too keen on theory, but the theory that we have been doing isn't just like repetitive stuff like at school. It's always a new thing that we're learning about. So you definitely learn to pay attention more. And then after we've done the theory, we'll go and try everything out in the workshop. So we'll actually put like a picture in our head of how to do it instead of just having to try and retain the information.
Yeah, so like a practical application of what you're learning.
Yeah, it's much easier to remember everything then.
What sort of things have you been covering then?
So we did the oxygen acetylene and we learnt about that, I think, the week before.
This is the highly explosive hot stuff, right?
Yeah,
in
so
simple terms.
yeah, so it's the it's the gases. So we learnt about that the week before, and then the week after we had to do like research on it to be able to actually do it in the workshop on the morning.
Yeah.
So we did that. It was really cool. And then
we did welding as well.
Yeah, we did welding as well. That was really good.
Had a little go at that, even though like this is what he was saying, this is what Jack was saying. So obviously we are fitters, but we're learning all these other skills as well. So oxygen and acetylene, welding, stuff like that as of so far.
Yeah, so like lots of different areas. I mean, I suppose when you're talking about the temperatures you were talking about there with the acetylene, obviously you really need to know your stuff before you start tinkering, for want of a better word.
Yeah, we were supervised though, so
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
How do you feel then if someone goes, this is highly dangerous and explosive?
I want to give it a go. Yeah.
And we're going to come into how the staff like help and support you on the course. That'd be interesting. I mean, they are trusting you, obviously, with this. But I think it's fascinating that you get to do that. What sort of experiences have you enjoyed so far?
So I've enjoyed actually seeing what's inside of stuff like the components of machines and stuff as well. But I have actually really, really enjoyed the oxygen and acetylene. I really did like that. I thought that was really cool.
Did you learn much of the science behind it then?
We did. We done a little bit before on the notes, like he was walking us through it, and we were taking notes down on like how it mixes and like all the different flames, like oxidizing, carburizing.
Yeah, he let us figure out how to do it ourselves. He showed us twice, and then he was like, right, I want you to figure it out now. And then we had to show him all the different flames that you can do with it. Obviously, it gets to a point where it gets so hot that we can't do it because we're not trained, but it was really cool to learn about. It makes you like more intrigued of what else you're going to learn.
Yeah, I suppose that hands-on learning opportunity really helps you drive it home in terms of your understanding.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Jack?
Well, I'm very much the opposite. I enjoy the theory very heavily.
Okay.
Pushing into the science. Some of it does go like above because we do bits that are sort of level 4, level 5, so that you have that understanding and you understand, like if you do go on to the higher things, that you have done it before and you understand that it's coming from this sort of topic, this sort of thing. Whereas like I still enjoy that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I enjoy digging into things and looking at all the science behind it, reasons for why stuff happens, like the temperatures. Enjoy looking at why the temperature range does certain things, like loosening, fastenings and things. It's very interesting.
Yeah, so enjoying that sort of knowledge base side of things as well. Jack, I'd like you to tell me, typical day, typical week, what's that looking like at college?
Sort of come in, usually got a few hours of practical, a few hours of theory. It's too bad throughout the day.
Yeah.
Sort of the theory, it's very much obviously learning basic stuff at the minute to have that understanding for once we move on to more complex things. Like they're putting in like a production line in one of the rooms that we use. So we're going to be able to go into that and go fault finding and things, stripping that down, pulling off motors to reassemble them, things like that.
Yeah, so just for those, the college is a weird and wonderful place, I think. That's hard to describe because it's, you see the front of the college and you go, there's the college. You actually go into the college and there is all sorts.
Yeah.
So they're currently putting a production line in place. And then the idea is you can then repair that production line. You can work up, like, not work on it, you're working physically on it to keep it running, right? Which would be very realistic compared to a workplace environment, right?
Yeah.
What about your typical day?
Typical day. Well, it's the same.
What did you do today? What have you done
today? So from last week we didn't put all the components back on to, was it the
generator?
Yeah, the generators. So we haven't put we took off and we had a look at the
we took out the coolant
alternator. That's it. Yeah. So we had a look at the alternator and we tied up the belt to the alternator tight, and then we haven't put all the stuff back on yet. So this morning we just spent our time putting all the stuff back on to the generators.
Yeah. So then do you have to turn it all back on and test to see if it works?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we didn't do that. We didn't do that today actually.
Yeah, well, you've come
But
here.
we did. Yeah.
You've come here today, so I think you can be allowed. Okay. And what about? Give me another typical day for you. You know, one from last week, perhaps.
Well, last week was when we did the oxygen acetylene, wasn't it? And then normally we do a few hours of theory in the morning, and then we do practical in the afternoon. But because we'd already researched about the oxygen acetylene the week before, we just went straight to the theory, and then we did it. It was absolutely amazing. It was so interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously there's lots of different elements going on. I'd be interested to know how the college is supporting you. Like what sort of things do they do in place? You've obviously got a mix of practical and classroom. There's obviously the theory to understand. How's that experience been with the support from the college?
It's been pretty good because they put everything onto our Google Classroom. Everything's there for us to look at if we want to go back and revisit something. If we don't quite fully understand something, we can ask them afterwards and each run through this again. And they're all very understanding so in terms of that, and they'll all help where they can.
Mm-hmm. So how was the enrolment process? You came on, you've obviously...
Oh, the enrolment process.
The whole thing. How have the college helped you get in?
Very, very helpful. I was very back and forth with John about how much I really wanted to get onto the scholarship. But I was also warning him about my English GCSE and that if I don't get it, I'm obviously not going to be able to get on, but he'll put me onto a different course. But he was always very, very supportive about it. And same with Tom and Jason. They definitely push you, but in the way that they just want you to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So working with you.
Yeah.
Really trying to help you out. Right. Tristan, site visits. Do you get to go on any site visits?
We do, but we haven't had any yet. So that's something to come in the future.
Do you know what kind of places you got to go yet?
Somewhere near Tees Valley.
Yeah, it is a Teesside funded project, so I'd imagine that you'd be going through that way.
You get to go to the site that they're currently building on.
Yeah, to the actual
right.
On December 9th or 10th, I think.
Okay, so you are going to go. Oh, that's right at the real edge of it all happening. That's brilliant. I bet you're looking forward to that. Okay, so here's a question for you, Tristan. What skills have you learned that you didn't expect to? Now, I know that oxygen acetylene will probably come straight out, but that's not necessarily a skill. So I want you to think about your own skills. What sort of things have you learned that you might not have realised that you were going to learn when you came on this journey?
Organisation.
Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, so...
I imagine that's quite an important skill.
Yeah, so working organisation. So after we've done something, we put it all in set places. So when we come back to put it back together, we know exactly where things are. So I've learned about that. You can't just leave stuff everywhere, otherwise stuff gets lost and takes longer to do.
This is the kind of scenario when you put something back together and you go, what's the screw for?
Yeah.
You need to not have a screw left.
Yeah.
Okay, so organisation in terms of when you're practically working.
There'll be other stuff, but it's just...
Yeah, no, that's a good one though. That's really important, and it's working out a system of work because if you don't have that attention to detail, you're not going to do the job.
Looking after your stuff as well, like your own PPE and that, because obviously you've only got one set of PPE, and if you lose that, then
it's
really important to get that right. What about yourself, Eva?
Probably asking questions, to be honest.
Oh, I like that.
I never really,
that's good.
In school, in year 11 especially, I didn't ask questions. So if I didn't understand something, I'd just be like, oh, I don't get it, whatever, it's fine. But with this, if you don't ask a question, you could get hurt, or if you don't pay attention, you could get hurt. So you have to make sure that you actually know what you're doing, because otherwise it could end badly. Sometimes
when you're asking a question, it can feel like you're either slowing progress down if someone's trying to get through a list of things, but you've just hit the nail on the head in terms of, if you don't understand it, especially with things relating to safety, you need to make sure you get that.
It's definitely better. You feel better in yourself when you do understand it as well, instead of just being like, oh, it's fine, I don't get it.
So do you think that's a confidence thing as well?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's because I'm more comfortable with what we're learning about here than what we were learning about in school. It's much more my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. I like that.
Yeah, well, our tutor encourages us, doesn't he, to
Yeah.
ask questions.
Yeah.
Our tutor says, Jason, he says, ask questions even if you think like it'll be silly. And I've asked a lot of questions so far, like, and I've learned a lot of stuff. So
it's often where you do the most learning.
It's no stupid question, as they like to say.
Yeah, well, especially when it comes to things like safety, it's really important to get that right. What about you? What have you? What skill do you think you've learned that you didn't anticipate?
Honestly, understanding how it's all going to work. Like, I did a lot before we enrolled to try and figure out what it actually was, because I wasn't 100% sure what it entailed. Obviously, the whole thing of capturing the carbon out of the atmosphere and then freezing it and putting it back underground, it's like, how are you doing that? And getting it through pipes.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to go learn about that, get the understanding of how it works.
And do you feel you're getting a more of an understanding now?
A little bit. It's coming slowly, and it's obviously helps that Valve and other companies are coming out to sort of expand on stuff with us.
Yeah.
And they give us opportunities to ask questions and things. So it's very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose getting access to people that are doing the job on a daily basis, there's another great source of question and answers that you can certainly put to work. So, big question. I'm coming to you first, Jack. What are the biggest challenges you see in the future as we move towards net zero? So we know that we're moving towards net zero. But I want to know what you see personally as the biggest challenges you think we face.
I think governments and funding. I think there's going to be some governments across the world that are going to be very much against it and very much not willing to put funding forward.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's even talks at the minute of them pulling funding for this one. But obviously, it's too far down now. They can't. It's already there. But for future plants, they might not want to put the funding there. I feel like it's going to be the same across the world.
So if we say the funding's there, what's the next challenge?
Your next challenge is getting the resources to build it all.
Yeah.
And managing to get all your bits to where you put in the site. And then making sure you're close enough to all the old oil reserves where it's all getting put and stored. So
yeah,
so a bit of a challenge actually getting it there.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a physical challenge, but also workforce. Sounds like that's a challenge as well, which is obviously why this scheme's here, right? Are you excited being Teesside? Like Teesside region? Obviously we're in Darlington, but obviously working across the region.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time, right? What do you think about that in terms of net zero and the commitments that they're looking to make?
I hope that other companies in the future, after obviously we've got jobs, hopefully with Teesside or Balfour or Technip or whoever, look at them and think, oh, maybe I should start doing it, and hopefully it'll set a trend for future companies to be able to go net zero.
Yeah. And what about yourself? What are you looking like in the future? What are you hoping for? What are you looking to do?
Well, I want to do an apprenticeship after I've got this 2 years out of the way. Whether that's with Balfour BE or not, hoping it is.
So what are your plans after the scholarship?
Hopefully the option to go with Balfour. I mean, there's also talks of another site, the same, slightly further down south.
Okay.
Near Scarborough.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Scarborough, so if the opportunity arises, I would want to go work down there, move back down. But otherwise, there's loads of engineering companies up here now that are sort of investing, and there's always more opportunities. So even if we don't get on it, there's always there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, to you now, what would you say to anyone thinking of applying for the course? Like, let's say the scholarship is available. I don't know the current status of future years or similar courses to what you're doing. What would you say to a year 11 student currently starting English?
So we're like the experiment.
Okay.
So if this goes good, obviously they'll keep on doing it. If not, they won't. But I definitely think it'll be something that they'll continue doing in the future. And I think if the opportunity rises, you need to take it, because I didn't think I was going to get on, and I got on.
Yeah.
And
so
now
worth applying.
I definitely feel better knowing that I know a little bit more about what my future is going to be.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. What would you be saying to current year 11s thinking to?
I'd say go for it. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Yeah. And then for you, Jack?
I would say definitely apply. I mean, engineering's never going to disappear. It's always going to be needed. There's always the job there. You've always got job security. This is only going to grow as well. So absolutely go for it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come in and talk to me today. I would love to catch up with you in due course when you've done a bit more course, and we can review how you're getting on. Hopefully, find out about some of the placements and what you get up to. And I wish you all the best in the rest of the course. So, for those of you that have listened today and you'd like to know a little bit more information, you can go to darlington.ac.uk to find out all the information about the courses. Or if you wish, you can absolutely pop into college and have a chat with somebody. But the best port of call is to go to the darlington.ac website and find out more information from there. And if you've got questions, just get in touch. Ask a question. That's what I've took away today. Ask a question. It's the best thing you can do, because at the end of it, you actually find out some information. So thank you three for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah. And I look forward to seeing everyone else in the next episode. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Cheers.